Hello, friends. I am Chevy. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic. Everything here is great. Last night, I was talking to my neighbor, the neighbor that cuts my grass. He started cutting my grass 3 years ago. Just started doing it, and when I talked to him about it, he was like, "I hope you don't mind." And I was like, "Mind? I'll pay you. Like, I'll go for it. Like, I'll give you money every week." And he was like, "I don't want your money." He's like, "I just want to cut your grass." And I said, "Okay." He's like, "Well, I'm doing mine. I'll just do yours. Our yards are connected, obviously." I said, "Sure." But we worked it out that I do give him, I buy him some drink every now and then. Um, Last year, he had mentioned that he wanted an attachment for his riding lawnmower, and I said, "Well, I'll buy it for you, and whatever." So I bought it for him, and he came last night to pick it up, and we got to chatting on the porch, and you know, as always with uh, growing up and relationships and that sort of stuff, there's strife. There's going to be some headbutting. That always happens. In this particular case, he told me that cutting my grass is like it's escapism, right? It's just like I got to go do a thing, and he can just go cut my. So he's like, "I really appreciate you letting me cut your grass." That's what he told me. He's talked about going out into the garage. He has a two-car garage, actually. He's bigger than mine. I'm jealous of it. That he does just projects in. He's like, "I just do projects just to stay out of the house," and I get it, right? And he knows my former relationship, and he knows my current relationship, and he said, "I bet you don't really need to do that anymore." And I was like, "No, like I don't." He's like, "How much do you get to work in your shop?" And I was like, "Very little, it's not because I don't want to work in here. It's because I don't really have anything to run away from. Um, I accept that running away from a confrontation is not the correct way to approach a confrontation, but sometimes a little distance is a good thing. And so this is my distance space. It still is. If Em and I have a disagreement, we are both of the we are very compatible in the way that we disagree. In that for both of us, it is I'm going to go away and think about that, and I'll get back to you. And that works really well. So a lot of times I come into here just to think, and that means I tinker around and I make something and I do some little things. But a lot of it is just to think. So it was good to talk to him about it last night because it put a little bit of perspective on my life, as well as a little bit of perspective on his life. We're not like we don't chat all the time or anything. I don't go outside a whole lot, so I don't see him a whole lot. But when we talk, we like to talk about dude stuff. And I think that the escapism is, unfortunately, like a common thing, right? I've talked before about the name for this show. We all know this isn't actually a shed. This isn't a garage beneath my house. It's like attached, I guess. I don't know, integral garage. But at the beginning of this, when I dreamed this thing up, I was spending every day in here tinkering, doing something, and I thought I can film it from here. It's a cool background. I've got tools and stuff. I got wall space, and I can light it and all that sort of stuff, and it's not in the way. It's my space, so I can do that. And I thought I would call it the Daily Shed because I think I've said this before. There was a blog that I used to read on the Board Game Geek website called "Every Man Needs a Shed," and that was kind of the whole point. Like every man needs the man cave, needs the shed, needs the place to go to get away. Uh, and I also believed that for a long time. I believed that I needed an escape. I needed a retreat. This was my retreat. But what I've realized now, through a much more compatible relationship, a relationship where our our goals are similar, our we agree on most things, we work through our issues very cordially, and we come to a mutual agreement that is beneficial for both of us. We don't Neither one of us is constantly sacrificing for the other. Through a very healthy, very mature relationship, I have found that I don't need an escape anymore. In fact, coming down here and just working for the work of it is like, man, I really wish I was not down. I really wish I was with my partner. I really wish I was with my kids. I really wish I was with my family. And so I've needed the escape a lot less. And I think that's a truthful reason as to why not a lot has, like, there hasn't been a lot of progress on projects that I have in here. I really only have, I mean, I could nitpick, but I really only have the workbench project. That's not true. I have this art project that I need to do also. So I have 2 projects that need work. The art project has progressed. I've been working on it for a while. I have plenty of time to get it done. I need to start pushing so that I can actually get it done in real time. But it's I don't want to come down here that much. I enjoy spending time with my family. I enjoy spending time with him. I enjoy spending time outside or doing activities or whatever. Being in here by myself is kind of lonely. And I never really thought about it much until we had that conversation last night. So, do you have a shed? Do you have a safe place? Do you escape? I know the vast majority of my audience is male. Do you have a place to get away when you need to? Do you even need to? Is that something that you recognized early, or something that you've avoided because maybe your father was a getawayer? I think my father was definitely a getawayer, an escapist. He came home and immediately went to do something because he just didn't want to be. I'm putting that in his head, or I'm putting those words in his mouth that he didn't want to be part of whatever the hell was happening in the house. But I also feel like it's probably pretty true. He would rather be busy than deal with what was going on. So I don't know. I'm just curious to know if you do, if you still have an escapist, or if and if you're female, do you have a she shed? Do you have your own place, your own happy place? I know that a lot of the women in my life have this is where I go to read, and that's what I do. So curious. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should notice sounds smart is recalcitrant. It is an adjective meaning unwilling to cooperate voluntarily, hesitant to step forward and to do what one is asked or told to do. On the witness stand, the mobster was recalcitrant and uncommunicative. Recalcitrant. RECALCITRANT. See, that's a good word. I've known that word in the past. Forget about it often. That's a good word to use. I like it's not complex for complexity's sake. It's not French.